What is up, everybody? It is another Thursday, so you know what that means. It is another episode of InfoSec Unplugged Live. I am your humble host, Davin Jackson. Thank you for joining. For those who are new, InfoSec Unplugged is my show where I interview people all over the tech and cybersecurity space, and we can talk about the highs and lows of the career. We can keep it all the way funky. We can talk about whatever it is we want to do and just have a great conversation. So thank you for joining. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to like these videos, like the previous videos, subscribe to the channels, and click the bell for notifications so you'll be notified when I go live, which is every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Want to get the sponsors out the way. So this episode has been sponsored first by Udemy. Udemy is an online training. Oh, can you see that? Yep. Okay. Udemy is an online training platform and teaching marketplace that has over 130,000 courses. Learn anything from programming, cybersecurity, hacking, basket weaving, cake sculpting, anything you want, and get them at affordable prices. So learn some skills while we're all on lockdown in 2021. Also, this episode is sponsored by Webroot. Webroot is an award-winning antivirus and cybersecurity product that protects you from all types of cyber attacks and the dangers off the internet. Prices are affordable. Setup is super easy. I use it myself. It's just a couple clicks and entering your code that you get when you purchase it, and it does not take up a lot of space on your PC or Mac. So make sure you go check them out. And finally, our special sponsor is also the We Hack Purple Academy. We Hack Purple is an online training academy that's run by Tanya Janka, also known as She Hacks Purple, and it focuses on teaching the ins and outs of application security in a fun and easy way. Tanya breaks down the foundations of AppSec in 3 different courses that you can learn individually or as a bundle. And in addition with the bundles, you get some great learning materials, as well as her book, Alice and Bob Learn Application Security. So contact them via email. I have all that information for all of them in the show notes. If you're following me on YouTube, I will also put it on Twitch once we end the show. And also, by the way, when you click any links, it does help out the show. So I am an affiliate for Webroot and Udemy. So I just want to get that out the way as well. So it has been a crazy week, but we have made it to the end of the week almost. It's Thursday. And we made it to the end of the month. Like I said, it's been a little bit nuts, but I am super excited to have my guest on the show. Many people know him. Many people respect him. Many people love him. He is an author, entrepreneur, cybersecurity professional, military veteran, just all around, just a good dude. And I want to bring him on the show. So ladies and gentlemen, everybody in the crowd and in the chat, please welcome my guest, Marcus J. Carey. Marcus,
what's up, bro? Can you hear me?
How you doing? Well, yes, sir. Welcome to the show. First and foremost, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm just hustling, learning, trying to do as much as I can. Ain't nothing changed.
Absolutely. So like I said, super excited to have you on the show. Honestly, when I started the show, you were one of the first people I thought of, and I was like, nah, I got to make sure I get this right, to bring you on. I'd hold you in high regard. I don't, keep that a secret. But for the people who don't know, please let them know who you are and how you got your start in the field.
I'm Marcus Carey. I'm a country boy from Texas. I got my start in cybersecurity by being in the military. Was in the military, did all kind of cryptography stuff and cool stuff, working for a couple of 3-letter agencies and stuff. And that's how I got in the game. And I'm happy to help as many people as possible, follow my footsteps or follow whoever footsteps, as far as just getting into the game and just making a great career out of it.
All right. So, again, thank you for joining. I also want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat. The Wolf Pack, thank you for being here week in and week out through the ups and downs. I heard there was some issues going on YouTube. So if you are watching on YouTube, let me know. If you're not, and you're watching on Twitch, please let them know in the comments or on Twitter or on Facebook or wherever you guys go to social media. Just let them know to check us out. Like I said, YouTube is having some issues, but Twitch is up and running. I just checked it a second ago, so we are good with that. So, like always, you can ask me anything. You can ask Marcus anything. Just please keep it clean and respectful, or it could be a problem. So, Marcus, sir, you said you started off in the military, in some 3-letter agencies and stuff like that. After you got out, talk about that. Talk about after you got out and that transition.
Well, the transition getting out was interesting. I mean, I'm really fortunate that I had a technical career inside the military, and so it made somewhat of a smooth transition getting out the military. A lot of people are scared when it comes to getting out the military and all that stuff. But I knew that when I was in, what I did in the military is I tried to get my education because I was enlisted straight out of high school, 18 years old, joined the military. So I was in for 8 years, and within those 8 years, I finished the requirements to get my bachelor's degree. And I also had a certification called CCNP, which was pretty highly regarded at the time. Plus the crypto and security background and all that stuff, and so I just prepared for getting out, and that was awesome because it set me up to be in the civilian world and have 8 years of experience plus a degree plus certifications. So I was set up to be a beast getting out.
That's dope. That's one of the things I wish I would have thought of when I was getting out. I was just more worried about getting out. It was like,
I can't hear you for some reason. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you now. Yep.
Okay. No, I said I wish that was one of the things I took advantage of on my way out. During that time, I was just focused on getting home. But I didn't do tech when I was actually an aircraft mechanic. But people that I usually talk to, I talk about how the military experience does at least help maybe learning certain things, not necessarily the hands-on skills, that's a given, but maybe some of the soft skills or some of the other intangibles like work ethic and stuff like that. How do you feel your military experience helped you in what you do now, as far as just how you approach things?
So again, I was super lucky that off the rip, I was working at NSA and all kind of cool stuff like that. So I had access to kind of crazy technology. Some of the technology at the time was bleeding edge, and so that right there really took care of me. As far as the military though, it does teach work ethic. It does teach you can get up at any time of day. You'll do any shift. Sometimes military people, I know myself, definitely being an entrepreneur, me and my wife on the weekends would clean up the office, clean up after everybody, and sometimes it was disgusting. So it teaches you whatever you have to do to get the job done. Just handle your business and get the job done. That's what the military teaches you. But yeah, work ethic. Also, the military. I tell people all the time that they have to master learning. And so in the military, I had 3 duty stations in the military. I was in Scotland, then I went to a ship, and then I went to NSA and all that. But the key thing is every place you have to go, you learn. You feel me? You have to learn a new job. And like because you're in the military, it was funny. Every duty station I went to, well, the first 2 I had to do crappy jobs. So there was this thing called First Lieutenant's Division in the Navy, where you're pretty much a janitor for a while. You pretty much clean up and all that stuff for 6 months or something like that. It was 3 or 6 months. I think it may have been 3 or 6 months. It was crazy because the only thing you do is you're a janitor, and then you have to get back into your regular job, your skill job. And I was on the ship. I had to mess crank. Mess cranking means you have to clean up dishes and you have to clean up the galley and stuff. So those are the things that in the military, it prepares you to, you got to do whatever you're assigned, do it and do it good. And then at the same time, you still have to, get your technical skills up and do your job technically. So that was my experience in the Navy.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't have to clean up. Well, I did clean up, but it was more flight line stuff. Like I had to do what's known as like FOD walks, walk the entire flight line and pick up all the stuff, pick up any debris that's on the ground. At the end of the night, especially when you were one of the new crew chiefs, you went by every hangar, made sure the hangars were clean, mopped them all up and all of that. So it definitely teaches you that you just no matter what, the job might suck, but the job needs to get done. So you just definitely got to do it.
Yeah.
So so now you talked about when you were in you grabbed a couple certs and stuff like that. Do you have your degree as well?
Yeah, I have a master's degree, even so. I have a master's degree in network security actually. So it's one of the things it's over on the wall somewhere. So
Yeah,
yeah, so yeah.
well, not only on your wall, and I was gonna wait for that, but I need to take a moment and appreciate your setup that you got with the superheroes and all of that. Like that's goals. Like you see mine, I got my Funko Pops, but I have like the figures. I have the figures over there and the comic books over here, and so I definitely appreciate what you got going on back there. I see the Biggie up there, the Hulk, and all of that. So that's definitely goals. Um, but back to what you're talking about with the education stuff. What are your thoughts on the whole debate with certifications versus degrees? Some people feel like you don't need one or you need one over the other. Some people feel you need both. What do you think?
I don't think that any of the things hurts you. So I mean, pursue whatever you think makes sense for you. Um, it's easier to get certifications than go out and spend money for a 4 year or 6 year degree. Luckily, I was in the military, so I got my master's degree for free. I think I might have to pay like $2,000, but it was nothing. So, um, but a master's degree and don't have to pay nothing but 2,000 out of pocket, and that was great. But that's not the reality for a lot of people. So, I recommend people do certifications. I'm a big fan of the Security Plus. But to get into cybersecurity, I'm a big fan of the like CCNA. If you wanted to get into like Cisco related stuff, so yeah, so I think that certifications are definitely valid. I don't, one thing works for one person, it don't work for the next one. Like my son, uh, I talk about my son a lot, but my son he works for Rapid7. He's been working there since he was 17. He doesn't have a degree. He doesn't have any certifications, right?
Mm-hmm.
Funny enough, my son-in-law works for Rapid7 now too. He did about 2 years of college, and he has certification. So, but so I mean, it's just like different strokes for different folks. You know, and don't let nobody tell you. Everybody's journey is different, so don't let them try to convince you that you're on the same journey. So that's what I think about it.
Absolutely. Yeah, like I said, I didn't go to college. Like, I came out, couldn't figure out what I wanted to do, and I went the certification route. But that's definitely a flex. $2,000 for a master's. That's
Yeah, it's like totally. It's like it's awesome, man. Like that whole generational wealth and poverty and all that stuff.
Mhm.
By being able to come up like that, 4 years of experience. So I did my bachelor's requirements, and I got my bachelor's degree conferred as soon as I got out. And 3 years later, I think it was 3 years later when I got out, I had a master's. So at the time I was probably like late 20s, I think.
Mhm.
But here's the deal though. So like just from a generational perspective, being able to come from nothing, I was the poorest kid I knew growing up, and to get a master's degree into something like network security, plus have all the experience and all that stuff, was definitely the ultimate blessing.
No, absolutely, and like I said, kudos to you because that's not easy. That's definitely not easy coming up rough and then whatever. And again, it also speaks to the work ethic and the passion. So like I said, that needs to be applauded. I know we've been talking about that word a little bit all month, passion. But another thing that a lot of people may or may not know is that I guess, can we call you a serial entrepreneur at this point?
I've definitely failed a lot. I failed a lot of stuff. Yeah, you come in. That's I don't mind being called that.
Yeah, but I mean, what leads you? I mean, obviously, then obviously outside of wanting to have your own business or something to call your own, but what led to that decision? You coming out of the military, you got your master's, you have your resume is pretty well off with the 3-letter agencies and stuff like that. What then leads you to say, you know what? Not only do I want to do this, but I'm gonna do this on my own.
I mean, ever since I can remember, I used to try to invent stuff, even the science fairs and stuff like that. I wanted to build stuff. So I've always been a builder. I said like stuff like A Team and MacGyver and stuff like that growing up, where they would create solutions and to achieve some goal. So wherever I've been, I've always tried to create solutions. When I was back at NSA back in the day, when I was at my first duty station, I used to always to write code, and my code sucked back then. But I used to always try to write solutions and basically build stuff. Man, I used to look up to like people like George Washington Carver, Benjamin Franklin. Those are the kind of people that I kind of vibed with. And actually, and to really build stuff, I'm like in a crazy situation now where, my company got bought by ReliQuest. Where at ReliQuest, I get to build whatever I want to, pretty much. Uh, and that's dope. They give me a project. Hey, we want you to build something, and just let me go off and run, and then bring it back. So that's rare.
Um,
So it's very rare that you get an opportunity to excuse me to just build. And so that's why I had to be an entrepreneur, is to be able to build and come up and to build technology. That's why I had to be an entrepreneur, because that's the only way that I was going to get it done.
Man, well, first of all, I like that flex in there real quick. That subtle one. Yeah, the company got bought. Like that's
Yeah,
that's big. I mean, like I said, again, not to go back to it, but you just said you were the poorest kid on the block, and you went from all of that master's degree, and then you got your company bought. Some people can't even get their stuff funded. You can't even get a VC to look at you. I don't even know how the hell to get people to look at me for just to watch the show. How do
yeah.
you how did you decide, how did you go about getting your business funded or eventually sold?
So getting it funded. Basically, I've been building stuff for a while, and getting it funded. And this is one of my mentors told me this. I didn't know how to do any of this stuff. So my buddy, when it came to raising money and getting funds, what he would say is he would say, "Hey, Marcus, you're not begging for money out here. People invest because they want that's the strategy to make money with money, right?" And so I didn't know how to ask for. I didn't know how to have that. I didn't even know how to do anything related to investment and stuff. But luckily, I had a mentor that kind of like walked me through it, and now I know how to do it. When I was selling my company, I had somebody mentor me as well, and end up selling the company too, and that right there was like a capstone project on like learning about how to run a business and how to sell a business. And it's just it was a full circle foundation, and like that was like another degree. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like it's not it's more, it's like layers. So that was a big learning process too. So now I understand marketing and sales and engineering and all. So it's made me a pretty good rounded individual. Uh, so yeah, I'm just lucky, man. I'm like I tell people I'm the Black Forrest Gump.
Nah, that's what's up. I mean, like I said, I just because that's everybody's dream if that wants to get into business, that either the business gets funded where they can do whatever they want or get it sold or acquisitions or whatever. And like I said, I mean, you definitely did it, you got it. And then like I said, you kind of get to do what you want now over with ReliQuest. So I mean, I'm not sure if you can or can't speak on that right now, but what's it like over there, even though it's still technically your baby, what's it like now working in this kind of just having free reign, right?
Oh, so what's dope about what we're trying to do? It was kind of like the perfect when it comes to getting acquired. You're lucky if you get a company that has the same kind of vision as you have. And so I was trying to build what they were trying to build, and they was trying to build what I was trying to build. So it ended up being a great situation for me because what we're doing at ReliQuest is we're building a platform to help manage all these different tools and all that stuff. And so that's one of the things I was trying to do is test all the tools, right? And so in order to be able to build something to not trying to let this turn into a commercial or nothing, but in order to be able to test out stuff, you have to be able to know how to hack it and all that stuff. And so I built this platform to do automated attack simulations, and they were trying to internally they were trying to do a similar thing and trying to catch the attacks. So it was a kind of a match made in heaven. And the first like year that I was here, I was kind of trying to integrate that into the mothership product. But now I'm building new stuff. And so I'm like, you seen James Bond, you had the Q, not the Q
Yeah.
that crazy people talking about. But Q on James Bond built tools. And so now I'm just building tools. And funny enough, I'm a Udemy fan. I'm a Udemy student. So bro, I done leveled up. Like I was okay before, but I've leveled up, man. My coding skills is beast mode right now. I can build anything. I
Yeah,
can build anything.
that's what's
So
up.
I'm pumped. I
Yeah, I
kind
know
of
you.
felt it before, but I can really my code game is ridiculous right now.
Yeah. Off the subject, I know I've been
Oh,
looking
you
at.
don't get in?
No. I said the last time we had a. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? No. What the hell? How about now?
Everybody in the chat, can y'all hear me?
Can y'all hear? Yeah, chat. Can y'all hear me? I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you, bro. I don't know if it's me.
Okay, so they can hear me. I'm not sure what's going on. It might be.
So somebody can hear us both, but we can't hear each other though. That's crazy.
Oh man, here we go. Okay, so let me. See. I'm gonna try to switch microphones.
I can hear you now. It
Okay,
might
you
it
can.
might it might be me. I mean, I got these AirPods in, so
Okay.
let me know if you get any feedback.
Nah, you're good. You're good. You're good. So we were talking. So one thing you said about finding the right match. To me, it's almost like finding. It's almost like finding the right job, right? Finding a company that sees what you want and trying to match that. And that's another topic for another conversation, another day. But to your statement about learning code, I think the last time we spoke offline, you told me, yo, you need to go research Go, and I have. I'm not quite there with it yet, but it was. I will thank you. That was some good advice.
Yeah,
So
I'm always trying to tell people to code because
yeah,
learning to code, whatever your job is, it'll make you better at your job because you can automate the crappy stuff that you do, if you hate your job, you hate doing something, well, write some code to solve that problem, and then you can work on more stuff that you care about and you're passionate about.
That
Um,
that's
and
fair.
like, I mean, it's hard. I mean, it's not nothing's gonna be easy, but if you want to separate yourself from the competition, I highly recommend that you learn how to code and do other stuff like that. But but what's funny about that is that people sometimes they don't realize that it's going to be hard, but you got to separate yourself from everybody else, and that's something that I do. Like really like I don't talk a lot on Twitter and stuff about. I don't try to have technical discussions or dialogue as much. But if it came down to it, and you know, but I look at the haters sometimes, and I be like, if you put me and one of my greatest haters in a room together, and that's just to bang out something, I would destroy them.
Talk
So if
that.
they were going for a job, and I was going for a job, they'd be hosed.
Nah, that's what's up. Sometimes, like I said, I fully promote and am a full advocate for flexing it if you can back it up. So, now you did talk about the struggles and sometimes kind of just having to be on in your own zone and your own mindset. What challenges along the way have you faced or that you still face? Even with everything that you've accomplished, what challenges do you face currently in the past? Any hardships?
Well, I think that the thing that a lot of people struggle with, and I know I struggle with it, is that work life balance, and I'm used to going so hard. This is going to be a crazy statement, but if I look back 20 years ago and said I wanted to do everything that I wanted to do, I pretty much done it. Everything that I wanted in life, I did.
I love
That's
that.
like the education, money, the whole everything, right? And coming from the hood, that's all I wanted. I wanted certain things. So there's nothing right now. And now that I'm still, some people were like, "Oh man, you should just chill," but I can't chill. I have no chill when it comes to learning, and
Hmm.
I kind of wish that I could chill, but I can't turn the switch off.
Man, listen, I think not to cut you off. I, you're like the third or fourth person that I've talked to on the show, and I can't tell how many people I've talked to offline. I want to say it's something about that upbringing. It's something about coming from the bottom, so to speak, and getting to a point where it's like, yo, I know what it's like to be down there, and I never want to go back to that. And it that between that and the military and just having that grit and that work ethic, that grind, it's just something about it. Because I have the same conversations at home where it's like, man, I don't know how to turn it off, and it's to the point where like I'll be laying in bed sometimes and like I get up in the middle of the night because I have like so many thoughts going on in my brain. I'm like, I have to write this down. I have to, I have like three whiteboards over here, and I'm like, I have to write it down. And then there are times where I'm sitting there, even on vacation, and like my wife has gotten accustomed to it to the point where she can almost like see the look on my face, and she's like, "We're on vacation. Like, fall back. You're on vacation. Chill out." But it's like I don't know how to turn that off. So I think it's definitely, I think it speaks to just a lot of those same experiences, growing up from inner city, not a lot, not well resourced, and then the military and stuff like that. I think that it just, there's just something that's in the back of the brain that has to click for it. And I wish I know how to turn it off too, but like I said, sometimes I mean, most of the time it works well.
Yeah, yeah, I think yeah, it's crazy just to think about that. So I was like, I'm at the beginning of this year, I kind of like was trying to see what were what's my future goals, like because like bro, like I joined the military because I wanted to get education. I wanted education so I could make money. I wanted to build a business so I could sell it one day, and just all these different things. Um, but now I'm like, dang, what do I do now? Like, you know, but I do enjoy solving problems though. So,
Mhm.
so I like solving problems and building stuff, and I think code and building software is like an art form in itself. So I'm kind of an artist, so that's what it is.
No, that's dope. Um, I think one of the things that um I think we have in common with one of the problems that we both want to solve is getting more people into cybersecurity, getting more people from the inner city, more women, more minorities, just more diversity in cybersecurity. And I want to say it was last year. I don't know because 2020 just seemed like it was just forever. But you wrote an article about bridging the gap, and this is going to lead to the next set of questions. But I think that was, to me, like it made when you hit reading that, it was like I was like, man, this is exactly everything that I wanted to say that I couldn't get the words out. But like I said, you put it down in that article. And how do you feel today? I mean, it's only been maybe less than a year, but how do you feel today as opposed to last year about the possibilities of bridging that gap?
Yeah, I think the possibility. I think we need to reevaluate how we look at the gap. I think that typically when you talk about tech, the only thing people are talking about is coding, and and there and I work with a lot of people. Some of us code, most people don't code. But you have people that are marketers, that are salespeople, that are accountants, that are all these different things that support technology. And what's cool about all those different things that support technology is at these tech companies, they all get equity, right? So I tell people all the time, it was basically one of the people that was painting at Facebook was doing artwork on the Facebook walls. He took equity for that. Now that dude's a millionaire because he painted the walls of Facebook, murals or whatever, right? So there's a lot more. You don't have to code to get into technology. So take any skill, sales, be an enterprise salesperson. You can, if you're good at tech, maybe you can be a sales engineer. They make way more money than the average tech person. So there's all these different jobs that are available in the tech space. Technical writing, right?
Yep.
There's and they're good jobs, and they're stable because you're working for good companies. And once you get in, you're gonna have a nice career knowing it. But the first thing somebody says when uh, is like, oh, you need to code. We need to teach them. I think that's important, but not everybody is going to be a coder. I know computer science graduates that hate code. I know computer science graduates that can't code.
Mm.
If they couldn't, if they would have to code to save their life, they would like just shoot me. So I just think that we need more exposure. Um, Everybody doesn't need to be a STEM student, but I think that's the that's the gap. So whatever you're doing, you have to, and I tell people, you have to build a network that doesn't look like you one, but also you have to build a network that's not privileged like you either. I tell people this all the time that my network, my network from in a technical field, my network's not black in the technical field. In the venture game, investors, no, I don't have any black. There's black investors popping up now. I have no black investors. I have no black. I have one black mentor in technology. Shout out to my man Eric Booth. He was my mentor at NSA. That was my dude. But what we have to do is like typically when somebody asks, like, do you know somebody that can do this job? You probably don't know somebody black to do that job. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Most of the time. Like if somebody said, web app pen tester, first person come in your mind is probably not a black person, right? Or woman. So the deal is the bridging the gap. We have to expand our network, so it doesn't look like the typical people that are in tech. Because if you're in tech, you're privileged. You're privileged, bro. Look at them. I see them sans things up there. That's a whole lot of money on the back of your wall. You feel me?
Right. Right.
So you're privileged. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do we continue to bridge that gap? But I would say, I give people a cell phone challenge. The cell phone challenge is look at the last 10 people you communicated to, and how diverse are those people. Look at the last 20 people. So if your network that you got to practice how you play. You feel me? Like that's that old sports saying is,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? We can't try to be diverse at work. It's like turning the switch on and off. Like how can you say you're trying to be diverse and you don't communicate with any black people? You don't communicate with black people at work or off work.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. Like and most of the time, and I even see black entrepreneurs, if you look at the people that work for them, no black people work for them. They're the only black person in their organization. So it has to be super deliberate.
Right. So
Yeah, you have to be a Marvel fan to be an infosec. Yes, yes, certainly.
I wouldn't say it's mandatory, but it's mandatory. um when thinking about what you said, it reminds me of a conversation, and actually he also said it last week on the show. Blenster, shout out to Blenster. He said, sometimes you got to speak to people who don't look like you. You got to get out of your comfort zone, so to speak. And you're absolutely right. You can't say diversity because it's convenient, right? And I think with everything that happened last year with 2020, I think a lot of that kind of came through the cracks, a lot of the performative support, so to speak. But truth be told, to counter your point about, if you think of a web app pen test or whatever, the first person you think of is probably not going to be a person of color or a woman or anything like that. But I feel like there are so many that deserve the opportunity. And like you said, a lot of that is privilege. It did come with a lot of hard work, just like you. So how do we find ways, and I'm gonna get to that because I think you did a lot with some of the things that you did with the books and stuff. But how do we get more women or more diversity into the field? Because we'll never be able to. I will never be able to think of, okay, if I had to think of 3 hackers right now, that will never happen until we get those people the skills to get them where they need to be.
Well, I mean, like it starts off with giving them opportunity, because you're not necessarily gonna be able to develop skills without being given an opportunity. Just like anybody else was given an opportunity. And we have to support the voices of the oppressed, right? The people that there's people that are being oppressed and kept out of the game that need to be let on, need to be put in. So anybody getting into a new job is probably going to take them about 6 months to get acclimatized to the position or whatever. So I think that you have to be super deliberate on in the hiring process, and you need to just say, "I'm going to hire some women, or I'm going to hire hire some black people." You just have to do it. It's not discrimination.
Yeah.
I mean, discrimination has been going one way for 300 some years, 400 years. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not discrimination. It's like you have to give people opportunities, and what's cool about that is that you see when women get on, right? Women help out other women. when black people get on, we should help out more. We should help out more black people. But
Talk about
sometimes
it.
black people won't be keeping $1.50 here.
Yes.
Sometimes we don't. We sometimes we want to be the only person in the room. It seems like, and sometimes women do too. But women tend to help hire other women, black people, Latino. So you can tell, you can go to any fast food place and tell what ethnicity the manager is by who's serving at the window.
Mm.
If it's a Latino person at the window, you're looking at everybody's Latino. If it's a black person at the, we need to do that in tech.
No, you absolutely right. I think of like I had some Asian friends who, when they came over, they all grouped together, they put their resources together, they got a house together, and they built together, right? And they built it, and they built it, and then when one was good, they helped everybody build each other up. And I think what we need to do is get away from that crabs in a barrel mentality of, oh, they're gonna take my shine. No, you gotta, building each other up is the best way to solidify your spot. And like I said, and it can be us, it can be done, but it does take a coalition of people who are willing to help. And like I said, I mean, it's great to have a diverse network. Like, I can come to you, I can come to Ty, I can go to JB, I can go to Alyssa Miller, and I have a diverse network of people who I will sit there and ask a question, and then I will just shut the hell up and listen and be a sponge. And I think that's also necessary, that put your ego to the side and for lack of a better word, shut the fuck up and just listen sometimes, right? And one of the things that I think you did something similar, but you did it in writing form, was with the Tribe of Hackers books. It's a great series of books. Like I said, I think that was my first introduction to a lot of people, and I think that is necessary, because it shows a diverse network, different points of view, but all with the same goal. So talk about your thought process with coming up with that, and linking up with, I don't want to, I want to give a shout out to your co-author Jen. So yeah, talk about your experience with that.
Oh, the experience was when I'm a weird dude, man. Like, I don't. So basically, I'm worried in the fact that it seems like people in kind of like power positions, meaning that they have some fame or whatever. I've always I've always got along with people in powerful positions, whether it be officers in the military, whether it be CEOs of companies, whether it be VPs. I've always got along with them, and I've had a really good rapport. Um, because I'm a real one, and they said this is saying, right, real to recognize real, right? And what I've learned is, what happens is that some people, um, and when I go to conferences, all these people that had fame and had names even would holler at me, gravitate towards me. And this is before anybody knew who I was, right? You know what I'm saying? A peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I could have been a peanut butter jelly sandwich over in the thing. But anyway, so I get along and I ask a lot of freaking questions. So, and that's the deal. The book is me. The book, the whole Tribe of Hackers, is me asking a bunch of freaking questions. and not being afraid to ask questions. And so that's the reason why I'm doing well in life is because I ask more questions than everybody else. And there's no such thing as a stupid question. Only stupid question is the question you don't ask, right? And so I asked hundreds of cybersecurity professionals to participate in that book. A lot of them like, screw you. And we had the first book, we had 70 people that came around that responded to the questions. I came up with the questions. Um, like Jin, definitely. If it wasn't for Jin, there would be no tribal hackers, because that's my partner in crime that was this diligent to make sure that everything's done right and everything's turned in on time. Sometimes technical people like me have ADD, so
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like, that's in any team, you want to get people that can support you and do the stuff that you can't do, and some of the stuff that it's not because you don't want to do it or you're lazy. I mean, you're good. You're going to be good at certain things, and some things you ain't going to be so good at. So you need to get somebody to compliment. It's just like, choosing your wife. You want to make sure my wife compliments me.
Right.
And so that's the Tribal Hackers team, me and Jin. That's how we're able to work. Is I have the subject matter expertise, the connections, and Jin's a bulldog. So
shout out to her.
And of course, Jin worked for me as my marketing and communications person at Threat Care. And so I would love to, and one of these days we'll work together again at another company.
Yep.
So
and now you're on what? You're on what? Book 3, book 4 now is what is red.
There's 4 books, yeah.
Yeah. So I bet the people who turned you away probably kicking themselves in the ass right about now.
Well, yeah. So the Tribal Hackers, like I approach publishers with that book, and nope, they don't want to touch it.
Right.
And then it came back around. Wiley Tech picked it up, and it's probably one of the best selling series ever in cybersecurity. Like a series of books. I don't know if anybody did it like that. So
no, I don't think so either. And like I said, and again, it introduces you to so many people. Now before I just want to address one thing I saw in the chat. So someone says, I don't know, as a Middle Eastern IT pro, I think that point of view promotes less diversity. I saw that pop up in regards to.
I can talk about it.
Yeah, I think, how does that promote less diversity? If you're still here, John Doe, is it in regards to what we were talking about having a diverse culture, or about trying to bring more people in? Because I don't see any problem with bringing more people who are from a diverse community into cybersecurity, that or into technology that for years has been predominantly run by one group of people. So if you're willing, if you're still here, please, I would love to hear the debate. I'm not by any means, I'm not saying that people should get hired over anybody, but I'm saying if there are qualified people who don't look like everybody else. So,
let me speak on it real quick. So yes, I think what's interesting about anytime, and I don't know John Doe's what angle John Doe's coming about.
Okay, he said more about businesses that hire those who are like themselves.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what's happened over time. That's exactly the problem, John Doe. And I don't know what perspective you're coming from here, but the problem that we have is that it indeed does promote. I'm saying I'm a black man.
Mm-hmm.
For my entire 20 to 30 years or whatever I've been working professionally, I've only worked with. I'm black. Only people I worked with typically are Indian cats and Caucasian cats, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm usually the only black person in the room,
right?
Every time. So what I'm saying, even myself, my network is not diverse. I'm saying the people that I hang around with now, I mean, dude, I'm thinking here. I don't know if it's a black person in my neighborhood right now. I was walking down the street one day walking my dogs, and they was like, "Do you walk dogs?" They thought I was the freaking professional dog walker. I walk, so I'm just saying, like, my neighbors are not diverse. The people I work with are not diverse, and the higher you rise in companies, it gets less diverse. My investors are multimillionaires. It's like I don't have nothing in common with any of the people I'm hanging around with. You feel me?
Right.
I tell people, this is going to be funny. So I says like my life is not where I came from. But what I'm saying is, since I'm privileged now, my whole network is privileged. So if I'm bringing somebody else in, they probably privileged. It's going to be somebody's nephew that's going to Rice, or my daughter is going to Princeton. She wants an internship. That's the kind of request I'm getting, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And to that point, I don't think there's anything wrong with bringing more people from communities of of diverse communities to introduce them to that privilege. So
That's funny. Hey, so Juris Hacker, this is so funny. But what I'm saying is that so Juris Hacker says something like, this is funny. I was in San Francisco. We was at RSA conference, and I had a salespeople. I had 5 salespeople with me. I had a couple of account executives and my VP of sales, and this is so crazy. So I walk out of the hotel. I walk out. We just ate a sushi dinner. Walked out. I paid for the dinner. And my sales team walks out in front of me. They're all white guys, right? One is Latino. He's gonna hate me, but I told him we revoked I revoked his Latino card. But basically, what happened was I'm the last person out, and so this a homeless person said, "Hey," he was asking them for money, and they were in front of me. So when I passed, he says, "Oh, look at you! You just freeloading." He was talking about me. So the homeless person said I was freeloading, and I'm taking my sales guys out. But it's just funny that like that's the way it works. And like as a society, unfortunately in America, this is the way our society is. It was this way before we even came. What we want to do is we want to make it we want to make it better. So, like, real talk, when I came into the cybersecurity game, there was nothing but arrogant jerks, pretty much. There was a couple of cool people, maybe, you know what I'm saying? For every 10 people that were like high level cybersecurity people, maybe 1 or 2 of them was cool and you could holler at them.
Yeah.
And like on the real, I'm going to keep it $150, and people are going to hate on this, right?
Do it.
The tribal hackers, that whole group of people that's in that book, coolest son of a guns on earth. Cool as a bug. You can approach anybody in those books.
Yep.
And holler at them, and they'll help you out.
I've reached out to most of them.
Some of the people in that book, multimillionaires. Some of the people are coming up in the thing. Tribal hackers, I'm gonna say it. The people in tribal hackers, it's not me by myself, but the people in that book, the first book and all the books, changed the game and changed this community. Like that's like real talk, and people can hate on that if they want to.
But you can't. I mean, and that's the thing. See, in this field, what I love about this field is it show and prove, and people may not want to believe it, but everybody who's here belongs here because they did the work. Whether it's the certifications or the track record to prove it, and to your point about people being, people in that book being approachable. I'll never forget. I think I was on a live stream the first time, and you jumped on the stream, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Right? And I was like, because I didn't think you were approachable. And then from there, and then we kicked it. And I'm gonna get to my personal experience later. But then after that, I'm like, I literally look at people now and I go, "Yo, I have Marcus J. Carey's number in my phone." Right? and it's crazy because then when I talk to other people and they're like, "Dude, Marcus J. Carey follows you," and I'm like, "Yeah, yo, he's good people." And they're like, "You spoken to him?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Wait, you know what I'm saying?" And it's like, and I'm like, "Yeah," but and I think that's why that was one of the driving factors behind doing this show, is also bringing people who are quote unquote unapproachable and seeing that they're humans and they're just like they're just like us. But
hey, you want to tell people my first interaction with you?
I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna get to it. So Nah, screw it. Let's just get to it. So, the first, I think, so like I said, you jumped on a couple of the live streams, and then around the same time where I was like, yo, I'm done. I'm taking a step back. I need to chill and gather my thoughts. I went through a situation, and I was like, yo, I just couldn't deal with it. And you sent me a message, and you was like, yo, call me. And I remember I sat and I looked at the phone. I looked at it, and I'm like. And my wife was like, yo, what happened? I'm like, yo, Marcus J. Carey just gave me his number to call. And she was like, so call. I'm like, all right, cool. So I called. And we chopped it up for a little bit. And you basically talked me off the ledge because I was like, I was seeing red that night. And then you introduced me to the 4 agreements, which I kept right here. And then it was like, yo, you sent me the link, you sent me the whatever. He's like, yo, here, boom, get this. You bought it, and it was like, boom, read that and then holla at me. And then like a week later, you hit me up and you were talking to me. And you're like, yo, have you read the book so far? And I'm like, yeah. And then we talked about the book a little bit. And then I think something else happened, and I put out there that I was from Bridgeport. And as soon as I got off, you called me. You were like, you're from Bridgeport, Connecticut. I was like, yeah. You were like, that makes sense.
Yeah,
But
it's kind of rough up there, man.
shout out to my people from the port. But but it just speaks to who you are, because I mean, that could have been like a double Dutch approach. Like, you want to jump in, you want to jump out. And like I said, I was seeing red, and for you to just reach out to me and be like, yo, here's my link, hit me right now. And I was like, okay. And I think we chopped it up for like a good hour or so. And then it was like, oh man. And now every once in a while, like I said, I'll text you. Though. And the funny thing is, I text you the last time. I'm like, yo, you good? But you were like, yo, who is this? And I was like, this is Marcus, right? But it speaks to who you are, because I mean, I have my personal experiences. I've talked to other people who've had their personal experiences. I don't want to speak to their business, but you did a live with Bees, and Bees talked about their experience with you. And it just shows that, you're just genuinely passionate about helping other people. So, if you want to speak on that or whatever, I mean, like I said, I believe in people giving people their flowers when they're deserving of it and when they can smell them. Like I said, like at that time, like, you didn't have to do it. You could have looked at him and like, oh, this dude done lost his damn mind and kept it pushing. But instead, you kind of reeled me back in. So I'm eternally grateful for that. And like I said, and just the fact that I could reach out and ask a question and just say, how you doing? I'm appreciative of that. So, if you want to speak on, why you think it's important to help others, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I think like a lot of people don't have the help. I mean, is this really good? The concept is, be the help that you needed when you was coming up. Uh, like I said, a lot of people, they were pushing to help out. Anybody that wants to win, I'm down with it. Like, and I get a lot of DMs for help and advice, and how do I negotiate this out, or hey, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. So it's a blessing to just be here, bro. And like, what's funny about that is, like, sometimes if people hear me talking about helping, black people out and all this and all that, sometimes people will think that, oh, Marcus is racist, or Marcus don't like white people, or something like that. It's kind of weird when you speak on it. But what I would say, like, just by being in the tech space, most of the people that I'm gonna help to are white men. And I'm totally cool with that. I want to help anybody that needs help, by the way. And like, even in my DMs, the people in my DMs, I'm helping them get jobs. But I don't care how they look and all that. You know what I'm saying?
You literally
Like,
put out a thread like what, every week about jobs.
yeah. That's what I mean. So basically, I want to help everybody. Like, you should have, like, how a company has a mission statement. My mission statement is, I want to be a blessing to everybody that comes across me. So even I'm so adamant on this. I want people that hate my guts to be blessed by me. You can hate me. You can,
Damn.
wish I freaking died tomorrow. But look,
That's deep.
I want to be a blessing to you too. You know what I'm saying? You know, like that's how I'm 100% all in on being a blessing to people, no matter how they look, whatever. But the whole deal is like, look, when I was growing up, I'm 45 now. Yeah, I think about I'm 40. Yeah, I'm 45. Right. So when I was growing up, I didn't think that racism existed for a second because I was taught it wasn't.
Hmm.
Right. I was taught that there's no such thing as racism. You know, Martin Luther King fought for equality, and we got it, and Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves, and all this stuff, and
Hmm.
so I was fed all that stuff growing up. You feel me? So it's crazy that I'm 45 years old and I'm still addressing racism and people being. It's the craziest thing to me.
Yeah.
And I can remember my grandfather telling me about racism when I was young. I'm like, my grandfather died when I was 8, but I can remember him talking about how white people treated black people.
Hmm.
And you know, if y'all heard what he said, y'all would think he's racist. But he's just like, boom, this is what it's like, and like, and bro, like, yeah, I can't believe it. I can't believe that this is still a topic. It's unfortunate. So
No,
that's where we are. And
I mean, it sucks. It really does suck. Like I said, it's like you're right. You know, to see certain things that I have struggled with or that I had to experience, and see my kids go through it. To me is like, well, what the hell was all of this for? Sometimes, right? Because it's like same thing. Lincoln freed the slaves. Martin Luther King marched on Washington D.C. What, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like, then as you get older, you start to realize. Then you start to hear some other stuff that they don't teach in the books. But that's a story for another day. But the problem that the thing that really grinds my gears is when people do these not campaigns, but do these things about trying to help other people, whether it's to help bring more diversity, help women, help LGBTQ. It always seems like rather than it being inclusive, it's like you're being divisive by you wanting to bring in more diversity. Somehow that's racist against this. And it's like, why? And the other thing is, in talking with Ty last week, like the conversation needs to keep being had until it's not uncomfortable anymore. And I think that's the problem. Your people are getting uncomfortable. Oh, they want to do this, or they want to do this movement, or there's this hashtag, or people want to do share the mic in cyber, whatever the case may be. And it's like somehow you think it's excluding you. No, you're already here. All we want to do is bring more people. Hell, you talk about people building themselves up, tying up their bootstraps and becoming successful. This is what we're trying to do. So that's the part that really irritates me sometimes. But
no, it's like straight up. Like I I agree with you. Um, I just wish companies I wish companies just hire more people.
yeah, like
Like I
yeah,
don't. It's very easy to accomplish. And like I'll be straight. I don't want to share no mic. I just want people to get hired. I don't want to. I don't want my name to be blown up no more. I just
mm-hmm,
want people to be hired and given an opportunity.
yeah,
Let's share a freaking job. You know, hire more black people, hire more women, hire
yeah.
more Latinos, hire more people, give more people opportunities.
And one of the things I said at that share the Mike Cyber event last year was, and it ruffled a few feathers, which whatever, is I said you're a multi-million-dollar company or you're a multi-millionaire and you're probably holding yourself back from being a multi-billionaire because you're stuck to one crowd. Like diversity brings in different thoughts. Like I was having a conversation the other day. Like I think bringing in some people who for lack of a better word used to hop fences and whatever back in the day would make some great physical pen testers or some great security consultants, right? Physical security consultants. Why? Because they had to do this for out of necessity at one point in time. bringing in there's nothing wrong with bringing in someone who doesn't look like you that may make you look at something in a different way. There's nothing wrong with that. So that's my spiel. So I'm not sure how much how good you are with time, but
We can answer a couple questions. I see there's some questions in the thing. Anybody have any questions?
oh
And then
yeah,
we'll.
we're gonna definitely get to the questions, but
Oh, so is it scheduled for? What's your schedule?
oh
Hour?
oh no, I'm good. I'm good. I say it's for an hour, but like I said, I can't tell you the last time this show has been an hour spot on. But a couple of things I wanted to end with is we talked about the four agreements, which I think, like I said, when I read the book and you said that's actually what you tell people who you mentor to read, and it's not even technical, but I definitely think that book it teaches, it helps you with the mindset. So again, like I said, I still keep it. It's still creased here. I got it right here.
Yeah, bro, that book. Yeah. So all right. So on the four agreements. Um, basically, I passed that out to everybody that worked for my company, and that was like day one. You got that book, and I was like, if you can follow the four agreements, uh, if you can do this, then you're good, and we shouldn't have no problems. You know, it's like be impeccable with your word.
Yep.
And just even just how you talk to yourself. Like sometimes you tell yourself you're not impeccable with your words to yourself. So that book, don't take anything personal.
Yeah.
There's so many the principles in that book is ridiculous, and it's a short read too. And so that book really, uh, I had a bad upbringing, so definitely, when you have a bad upbringing or something bad happens to you, what you tend to do a lot of times is you tend to blame yourself for everything, right? And so the bad things that happen, even like from a biblical perspective, how people have said that the Bible has cursed black people, and there's black people that believe that.
Yeah.
Like, what the frick? so this is what I'm saying. Like basically, sometimes there's a saying that sometimes you're your own worst enemy. And in life, that's true. You could be telling yourself totally toxic stuff or repeating what somebody else said about you, or you had a terrible parent, just all that, all that. So basically, the four agreements is what helped me get past some of that trauma and some of that self hate. You know what I'm saying? Hating myself,
Mhm.
um, and hating other people too. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
And like what I realized that is like I need to try to help fix myself.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of problems here in house before I start trying to fix everybody else's problems.
Be
And
be the,
that's how I roll.
be the change you want to see. Um, well, yeah, what I really liked about the book is, yeah, I mean, individually those are all strong agreements in themselves, but how they weave together, is it's almost like it forms like an integrity Voltron. You know what I'm saying, so to speak. And like for example, like the being impeccable with your word and how that ties into always doing your best. Where some days you may not feel like you're at your best, but if you can give your best at that day and being impeccable with your word, knowing that you're honestly giving your best at that day, then you left it all on the table, and your best may not be your 100% today, may not be your 100% yesterday. And to me, that stuck with me because I always felt like that Jordan mentality. I got to drop 60. I got to drop 60. That Mamba mentality. I got to go. And it was physically exhausting, and I couldn't understand why I was burning out so much. Right, like especially once I got into cyber and I really got into the field, like I was experiencing burnout like almost like every other month and then it got to a point where it was like every month. And then when I read that, and it was like, all right, cool. On the days where I feel off, I maybe I don't put in 10, 12 hours. Maybe I just put in my 8, take my ass to bed and chill out, but I know whatever my best is that day is my best. And as long as I'm comfortable with that and being impeccable with your word, to me that definitely hit home with me. So again, I thank you for recommending me, recommending that book to me. Um
That was with the stuff he was saying online. Like, he needs this book, man.
Hey, listen, every once, like I said, I try to. I've grown. I'll say that I've grown, but like I said, between you, JB and Ty, man, y'all be like, they be like, yo, like
That's
Ty,
real.
yeah, like Ty let me have it a couple weeks ago. Like I called him and he was like, yo, no, he
That's
fall back
good.
a little bit,
That's
but
good. You
but
need
you,
people. You definitely need people to tell you, tell you, tell you what they feel about the situation. Now,
yeah,
those people aren't going to be right. Only you know at the end of the day what's
yeah.
right and what's wrong. But hey, you definitely need a strong team to support what
No,
you're doing.
it's true. You need people who are going to tell you what you need to hear, not necessarily what you want to hear, right? And I follow, like, again. That's why I welcome it. I welcome it, and then I'll listen to it, and if I don't agree, we can agree to disagree. But like I said, I definitely appreciate all that you guys do. So, all right, so we're gonna get to the Q&A chat because y'all are I see y'all in there. But before we do, I have 2 questions. What are your goals for 2021? Your mic went out.
Well, I think that what I want to do is, I mean, you kind of hit at it, like, do your best, right? Is, you know, I want to be better. I want to have better, like, a better work life balance.
Yeah,
Um, Continue to learn. Um, and like the whole thing about learning, man, is like, I see, some youngsters, and and they'll figure it out on their own time. You never stop learning,
yeah,
and like no matter how many degrees and certifications you got, that what's valuable is the information that you're taking in. That's what's valuable. So
mhm,
just take that information and then keep on rolling with it. Well,
nah,
cool. So somebody from Scotland. I lived in Scotland. I don't know if you know that or not, but I lived in Scotland for 2 years, and my wife's from Scotland.
oh, that's what's up. Um, no, I agree 100%. That's why I usually say, no matter how many years of experience, I consider myself to be a noob because it's
I don't like the term noob. I think it's derogatory.
really
Yep, I don't like it at all.
well. I say it in a sense that once you people start thinking you think you're a guru or an expert, you get complacent. So if you have that mentality of I'm new and I just need to build and grow, it'll keep that learning mentality. And again, I think it also plays into the work ethic as well. But that's why, like I said, I do that. And then,
Well, I mean, I feel you,
mhm,
but be impeccable with your word. That term is a derogatory term that people that thought they were elite back in the day used to use for everybody else. They thought they were amazing, and they were elite, and you were a noob. So I don't call people noobs. We're all learning though. I agree with the premise of what you're saying,
mhm.
but that noob thing is derogatory. And I guess it's kind of like the N word. You can take it and flip it, but whatever. The other N
Damn.
word,
The other end.
yeah. So even when I went from Scotland, I was stationed at Edsel, uh, and I met my wife in Aberdeen.
Okay. So Final question before we get to the Q&A. And I don't know if you've seen the show before, but I usually ask everybody what their why is. So it could be something technical, personal, whatever. But what is your why that keeps you going when, the days where, you don't feel like you want to do it or you don't feel up to it? What keeps Marcus going? What's his why?
So I said before what I want to do is I want to be a blessing to people. And the reason why I want to be a blessing to people is because I believe that ultimately that's what we're on the earth for, and you know there's a that's what we were built for. We were built to help each other out, and that's why as a species, that's why humans have survived for so long and have dominated the earth. So basically helping each other out. So I think that's what we're built for, and that's what I do. That's why.
That's what's up. I like that. That's what's up. So, well, like I said, you definitely have been a help and a blessing to me personally. And like I said, I don't want to speak to other people, but I've seen and talked to other people and heard their stories, and I know you've been a help and a blessing to them. So, to you, sir, enough respect,
Hey, you know
ladies.
what my saying is my other thing that I tell people is if you're living a good life and living the right way, you should be a blessing to more people on accident than you are on purpose. Blessing should be a byproduct of your mere existence. People should be blessed by you doing this show, by you hacking something, by you doing whatever. You give them that confidence. You feel me?
Hmm.
So basically, that's what it is.
That's what's up. Nah, that's what's up. Um, damn. See another gem at the end. Okay. Thank you, sir. So like I said, everybody in the chat, thank you for being patient. We will get to the Q&A. Let's see here. Cyber Warrior Studios says what's up to you, Marcus.
What's up?
Let's see. That's when we were going through the
I'm pretty sure I know who that is. What's up, homie?
yeah, yeah, Cyber Warrior. He does
Yeah.
the security happy hour on Fridays.
Oh,
Xavier says what up.
hey Xavier, how you doing, bro?
Detroit in the building. Kalila says that was definitely a flex. I think we were talking about the 2000 towards the Masters.
Uh yeah, yeah. Uh
Yeah.
that was sometimes you accidentally flex.
No, it is. Let's see. Cyber Warrior Studio says everyone's journey is different. No, I agree 100%. It's definitely different, and as
That's for sure.
yeah, doesn't matter how you got
Yeah.
here as long as you're here.
So y'all seeing the more kinder, gentler Marcus. I used to be more gangster with my I used to be like a drill sergeant in real life. What the frick? You can do this. Like I used to be dogging people out, but now I'm more calm. You can do it, rooting them on. But I used to be really gangster with it though.
Some, and I'm sure you could turn it back on if it calls for it. Let's see, where are we at? Where are we at? Okay, here we go. Cyberpack says, "What is the best path for a person who is just starting out in cybersecurity and looking to land their first job in the field?"
The best path is to I believe it and I've seen it happen. The best path is security plus and understand networking really well. Understand internet working, understand how computers talk to each other,
Yeah,
and master the curriculum. So basically, what you do is with that security plus stuff is you look at it, and you also try to do some labs that are that keep some labs that actually make the stuff sink in. So if the lab is about crypto, try to play with some crypto. If the lab is about XYZ, if the lab is about or even like looking around, man, dude, I used to take my security. I used to teach security plus back in the day, and I used to take students around buildings so they could see What's the security look like?
Mm,
See that camera right there? See this boom? And that's what security is. It's about physical. You mentioned it earlier, but
right.
it's about all that.
Is your videos are your videos still up on Twitch? The security video?
Yep. Well, they're not on Twitch, but they're on my YouTube. My YouTube is is Marcus Carey. You can, if you look up Marcus Carey, quarantine sec is what I called it.
Yeah.
It's
I'm gonna
it's
put
a
a,
bunch of videos. It's hours of training. Some people say they went. Some A lot of people got certified off that.
no, yeah, it did. It definitely did. I'm gonna put it in the show notes. I'm gonna put that link up in the show notes. So, where are
But
we?
anyway, so Security Plus and understand networking really well. That's the fastest path to get in the game.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, because I think the networking helps. It complements the security stuff, and then it just depends on where you're going in security. If you're going to get into pen testing, there's tons of free or cheap
I
hands-on.
don't think. Yeah, I don't think that's the first job though. I don't think pen
Oh no,
testing is first job.
no, 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 not at all. Kalila says, agreed. Coming from the bottom, you will have a stronger mindset and grind because we know what is behind us, and going back is not an option. No, that's true. Like I said, as great as things are, I still think of it like I'm not, I can't, and I won't. So
But in society, you know how society is kind of crazy. I don't have any safety net. Still, I mean, like that's how the society is kind of crazy in that way that you see what you'll see. I'm the highest achiever ever in my family, and
hmm
I have a lot of relatives and stuff. I mean, I had a niece hit me up the other day when their lights was out and stuff like that. But
hmm
so just imagine if I'm not in the position that I am,
yeah,
there's no, I don't have any rich father, rich cousins, rich uncles. So it's still a weird issue in our country. Even though you could be successful, um, how close you still are from, you know,
life
it's
life
crazy.
comes life
You
comes
always
at you
gotta stay
fast.
healthy. Try to stay healthy. That's my goal. I gotta get healthy.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. So Nick says, question: knowing what you know now, what is something you wish you would have known when you first got into the industry that would have helped elevate your gamer skill set?
So I think that if at the beginning I would have been more bullish on learning how to code. I would almost have coding as a part time thing. Do a little bit every week and learn it. Um, because like when I did the reason why I was finally able to build a company is because I could code. I built front end, back end, full stack web development, and built a solution. So without a doubt, coding is a force multiplier.
Okay.
Even in the Bay, if you're good at coding, you can make $300 to $400,000 a year. Really make you can really make that kind of money if you're proficient at it.
You're proficient,
And if
right?
I mean, like, you don't have to be the most amazing developer to do like ridiculous numbers. So, coding and understanding a discipline is where it's at. So I know cybersecurity and I can code. If you know medical, you can build a medical company or a medical app. If you know finance, you can build a finance app. So the whole cheat code is knowing how to code plus whatever skill set. If you're good at stock, build some stock apps. You know, I mean that's what it's all about. Um, and be able to and that's what it is. So the question was, if I could do anything over again at the beginning, I would have took code a lot more serious and owned it at an earlier stage.
Yeah. Me, it's three. Is it two or three parts? For me, yeah, I shouldn't have been so intimidated by code. Because like I said in the beginning, I saw it and I was like, nah. And then when I got into it and I started looking at stuff, I'm like, oh, it's not actually that bad. So coding, um, and just being intimidated in the field in general. Like I wish I would have got in sooner. Like when I decided I wanted to get into cybersecurity, and when I got into cybersecurity, there's probably like a 2 year gap. in between because I felt like I needed to know everything I had to know from a tech support sysadmin side of things, and I could have probably done both at the same time.
That's what I tell people, bro. Just when you think you don't know enough to do some job, there's somebody that's in that position. They don't have a clue.
Yeah.
So do not wait for to know everything. You're not gonna know everything that you need to know. You're never gonna be the perfect candidate for a job. None of that stuff. So just go out and get it.
Nah, absolutely. Uh, Cyber Insight JB says, "Hey everybody, I've been looking forward to this chat. What's going on, John?" Yes.
What's up, bro?
Let's see. Kalila says you should hire the tech sec chicks. So, yeah, she started a group bringing in trying to teach women how to get into cybersecurity as well. So she'll be on the show at one of these days. Let's see here. Jelly Donut 14 says if one doesn't have, we all don't have. We need to put an end to this. No, that's true.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. It's like the Hippocratic oath, where the doctors take.
Mm.
Basically, they take an oath to say they're going to help everybody out, and they're going to, you know, even if you don't have any money, they should provide you medical attention if they're a doctor. That's like part of the thing that they do.
Yep, do no harm.
So I think the same thing for even for cybersecurity, and anything in life in general. And if there's people that are if there's people that are hurting and don't have opportunities, we should help those people out. Uh, Funny enough, that there's people in America is black people. In other countries, there's different things like caste systems and all that stuff. But in the U.S., it just so happens to be the black people are at the bottom of the totem pole. And so, and it is what it is. You got to help the people at the bottom.
No, absolutely. Kobe Lewis, what up, Lou? Says support system. That was the third thing I said I wish I could have done differently. I was so bullheaded when I first reached out to people for help, and I didn't get the response. So I was just like, screw it, I'm gonna do it myself. And as a matter of fact, it was you. It was you that was like, well, maybe they wanted to see what you could do on your own before you help, before they help. And I was like, huh, didn't think of it that way.
That's
but
true. That's true, bro. Like, there's a lot of people that I have a set of. I do get a lot of DMs, and all that. My DMs are open, but I give a set instruction set for people to do. Like, hey, do this. Check this out. Check this book out. Boom. Look at this podcast. So sometimes if they don't come back to me, if they come back to me saying, "Hey, Marcus, I just did this." Oh snap! He actually did it, or she actually did it. Okay, cool. Let's roll up our sleeves and get on the ground because this person really wants to do it. You feel me?
yeah,
That's how it is. So people are looking for that.
yep. Let's see. Bob Burke says, "Great conversation, and Tribe of Hackers is an excellent book. It's very helpful to get insight from the key industry thought leaders." No, it is. Like I said, and it's all right there in a book. Like I don't have to go chase everybody down. You did all of that for me. So it's like, oh, okay, this is what they think about it. And like I said, and because of it, it was like, okay. Like I read the book and immediately was like, okay, I need to follow this person. I checked my list and was like, I'm not following them yet. I need to follow them. So that was definitely, you know,
Man, that book, that's crazy. And sometimes I knew that it was gonna do what it did, and I mean, as far as like help people out,
yeah.
well, like, man, this needs to exist, and so
Well, okay. So just now, what was that anxiety like? Knowing that you were basically sitting on a gem and just waiting for it to get out. What was that anxiety like? Waiting for it to get out and getting that and waiting for the response because you know what I'm saying. You had to know like when you're looking at it and proofreading and doing all the edits that you was like, yo, we sitting on something big right here.
well, I think that one of the big testaments to that book being what it is I was able to self publish that book. Um, initially, and on Amazon, and it blew up.
Mm.
Uh, then that's how that's how we got a book deal a while later. But the thing that I learned is like sometimes if you have a conviction that look, I need to do this, you probably need to do it. Um, and hopefully if like so say I need to write more goals. um, funny enough that I'll tell y'all like straight up when I that book I would go into I was in a bookstore with my son. He was getting a book for school, and so we went over to the tech section and we went to like the computer security books, and I was like, and like I know all these people. Like I already knew many of them. I was friends with some of them and all that already. And I was like, man, I know all these people. It'd be great if I had a book on these shelves with them, my colleagues. And yeah, so basically, sometimes you, from that moment, I was like, man, I gotta when I think of a book, I gotta do it. And then I was reading another book called Tribe of Mentors, I believe, by Tim Ferriss. And that book is like, man, there should be a book for hackers like this Tribe of Hackers. That's it. And ever since then,
Start.
I knew what it was because I benefited from the Tribe of Mentors book because it was mostly about business and marketing and all that kind of stuff. I said there needs to be a cybersecurity specific book on this. So that's where it came from.
That's what's up. Bryant. Bryant says, Marcus, what advice do you have for brothers and sisters in the military at 17C, 35Q, CTN, CTR, 1N4 to break through? A lot of us stay in the shadows. Any words of advice?
Man, that was lengthy. Let me see if I can see that again. I can pull up on the side. All right, yeah, cool.
It's a lot
So
of emotion.
basically, you said that if you're in, so Brian, I'm thinking that you did something in the military and how to break through once you get out. The advice is all the cybersecurity stuff started in the military, bro. Like straight up, like all the even the vernacular and heck, I see people at conferences when conferences was happening. They tried to act more military than I was. They got all freaking all this gear and like, damn, what the heck? So you have a leg up if you were in the military and did any of those career fields. I was a CT, so that CTR CTN thing, uh, that was kind of like my wave when I was in. But if you did something similar to this, people love military. Military seems to never go out of fashion. Uh, but yeah, it's just keep. You just have to understand how to put the stuff you did in the military down. So feel free to reach out if you have an issue with that. Hit me up. My DMs are open on Twitter. And be persistent. Another thing I learned in life is you got to be persistent about things that you want. You just can't like you just can't say when somebody says uh, when somebody when you don't get the response that you want, you need to be persistent. Or if somebody's taking a long time, even better. Sometimes you're reaching out to somebody and they are super busy, right? and
Yep.
and and sometimes they just don't have and then it might fall under the fall under the carpet for a little bit, and then when you go back, so don't if somebody give people grace. If they don't get back to you, assume that they're too busy. It's not the right time. um but be persistent though. And when if you first hit somebody up, let them know like a little status progress. There's people that I DM for a while, and those people I just give them an update on what I'm doing. I've done that. Hey, this is what I'm doing, and then they're following me. They don't reply. Hey, I'm also doing this. Boom. Hey, and I just did this. So I'm updating those people as on what I'm doing, and they're not unfollowing me nothing. I've done this to famous people on TV, people, and they get back to me every once in a while. It's like somebody. like funny enough, one of my favorite business people on TV is Marcus Lemonis from The Prophet.
Hmm.
Uh, so funny enough, he follows me on Twitter, and he's talked to me before on Twitter too. So it's just basically, I know Marcus Lemonis is running all these businesses and all that stuff. The dude is super rich. He don't have time to respond to me for everything. But what you do is, like I said, tell people how you're progressing and how you're winning. Tell them you have. I just started a YouTube channel. Tell them you started this blog. Tell them you just wrote this article because people can't build you up all by themselves at the beginning. They want to know that they're working with good materials, and it's just like these kids nowadays. They can put their dang videos up on. If they're a basketball player, they can upload their videos and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
football players, and you can get discovered. So you basically putting out that body work. What you do is you're blogging, you're doing videos, you're writing code. An easy play, an easy win is to go help somebody with their open source documentation. Somebody out there, you need to hear this right now. Go help an open source project with their documentation because documentation all sucks.
Yeah.
And what's cool about that is that if you pick the right project, you might be in for a job. I would look at like somebody like Dave Kennedy. I would go to Trusted Sec. Trusted Sec has all these open source projects. Go look at the open source project, which one, use it, and then update the documentation.
Mm.
You might learn how to use Git. You learn how to use the tool. And then that's what they need somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? So there's a million different ways that you can because like I talk about symbiotic relationships. Symbiotic relationship is something that's good for both species, right?
Right.
Or good for two different people. So if I'm helping you out, what are you doing for me?
Right.
And you don't have to necessarily give them money or nothing like that. Like I said, just update some dang documentation. Somebody said, "What is good documentation?" Good documentation is mean even a novice with no information.
Talk about it.
I don't even know anything about what you're doing. But if I follow your documentation, I can achieve this goal.
Yep.
Now, sometimes it might be like you need to understand Linux. Well, you don't have to document the Linux process, just send a link to the Linux joint. So good documentation will get somebody running.
Yeah. I mean, I've gotten a lot of looks just off of documentation. That's why I tell people learn to love documentation. No one really loves it. No one likes having to write 60, 70, 80. If it's a really successful pen test, sometimes even more pages of documentation. But I write my documentation, especially my proof of concepts. I write it where I write it to where I can say, okay, follow these steps. I can go to the most non-technical person I know and say, follow these steps, and it has screenshots. It has little boxes of the actual command I typed, and like copy and paste, type this stuff in. And if I can give it to the most non-technical person and they can recreate the steps I did, then I know it's job well done.
Yeah. So if you want to get into red teaming or blue teaming, or like, pick a red team tool that everybody's using, is hot.
Hmm.
I'm telling you, the documentation probably is garbage. Or if you know how to code a little bit, maybe you can add a new module or something to it. A
Yeah.
lot of people came up on adding Metasploit modules back in the day. They built Metasploit modules to hack a Barbie or something stupid. But
Yep.
but if you could build that to do that, and no shade on whoever did that code, by the way, um, but that meant that person had steps to reverse engineer, perhaps. They could code in Ruby, perhaps. They
Hmm.
could do all this, and that's the whole key is to show people that, oh snap, this person is motivated to do this stuff on their own. I can hire this person.
Oh yeah, I mean, and to your point, that's definitely a key right there, especially going on GitHub, because a lot of the I mean, not to knock nobody, but a lot of the GitHub documentation is literally just here. This is it. Install it. You're good to go. So yeah, if you download the tool, understand the tool, and then volunteer to write up the documentation, yeah, that'll definitely get you a look.
Just do a pull request. You don't have to communicate with them. Do a blog post on it. Do a pull request on it. Again, that's teaching you several different things. You're learning documentation. You're learning how to submit a pull request to GitHub. And if you do it right, boom. But
Yeah.
that's how you help people out. You know, that's how you finesse.
No facts. All right. So, Oikon, I'm not going to try to butcher your name, sir. Oikonmi Collarwool says, could the urgency to defeat our adversary assist recruiters to take a chance on entry level applicants with or without clearance? Will this move also reduce the threat landscape?
So I quote Jay-Z. I'm gonna pull out my Jay-Z quote. Put me anywhere on God's green earth and I will triple my worth. What I'm saying here is that a clearance shouldn't be uh there shouldn't be I wouldn't be worried so much about a clearance per se. Um Most people that have clearances, and I'm about to piss some people off.
Go for it.
Some of the laziest people in the world I've ever met were cleared. I love it. I mean, that's no shade. You know who you are. If that shoe fits, wear that son of a gun. But what I'm saying is, I think stuff is overclassified. By the way, there's a lot of stuff that shouldn't be classified that's classified, right? My dog is tripping. My dog is right here. You can't see her, but she's just wilding. So what I'm saying is, um, I wouldn't be concerned about clearances and all that stuff. Be the best person you can be, uh, and learn as much as you can, and you're going to be super valuable. When people ask me about clearances and all that stuff, um, what I think is that it's like a golden ticket almost, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, but you can make way more money outside the government than you can in the government. The
Oh,
government is like steady money,
yeah.
but that's my take on it. I think too much stuff is classified. They should unclassify some stuff. But I wouldn't even be thinking about if you get a clearance and all that stuff. Cool, but you're not gonna make a lot of money. Well, I mean, the money you're making is a lot of money compared to some people, but I mean, you can make twice that outside.
Right. All right. So let's see. We're gonna jump around a little bit. Uh, Jacoby Green says, "What is the name of the book y'all been referencing?" It's The Tribe of Hackers. If you're watching me on YouTube, I have a link to Marcus's Amazon store, um, in the show notes, so you can get the books there. There's four of them. There's The Tribe of Hackers. There's Red Team, Blue Team, and then the Security Leaders. So get the whole series. Like they're all good. They're all good reads, and they're from a bunch of different professionals giving their takes in the field. So let's see. Trillionaire 2021 says advice for a 35-year-old man going through a midlife crisis who lost the job due to COVID. I think I already know your answer, but I'm gonna let you go ahead and answer.
I don't have all the background information, but that sucks. It sucks that you lost your job for now. Um, I mean, I would have to have more information. What skill set are you already in security? What was your last position? Um, Basically in life, we're there's this book, and I haven't read this book, but the concept I really like. It's the concept of you are corporation. It's like you Inc. or something like that. I heard. I don't know what the name of the book is. It's something like that.
Hmm.
But basically, what you you're selling yourself per se, as far as a skill set, or something that you can do. You know, in our life in the cybersecurity world, we know how to defend networks. You know how to defend networks by several means. It could be configuring the network properly. It could be system administration. It could be writing secure code. It could be testing secure code. It could be red teaming. One of those things. So basically, one of those things is the your private services. It could be you're a good salesperson. It could be your sales engineer. I mean, whatever that thing is that you know, because we're working in the knowledge economy. You have to have knowledge to do something. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe it's stocks, maybe it's something, whatever it may be. That's what the whole goal is. And you wanna what's that value that you offer? And so here's the deal. You see behind me, I have a couple of superheroes and all that stuff. Every superhero has a skill set, has superpower. Now, what is your superpower? Number one, and that's what you have to identify. What's your superpower? Um, and ideally, you can get paid for using your superpower.
That's
So
all.
if your superpower may be building relationships and all that stuff, that you could be a great salesperson. Your super it could be empathy and listening. You might be a technical support person. Maybe it's breaking into computers. Maybe you're a red teamer. But just align, like, what am I really good at? Um, and how can I be better than anybody else? How can I if me and this other person is up for the same job, it's a problem for them, because I got my superpower. And that's what it is. So I would say focus on what you're really good at. Um, and maybe that's cybersecurity, or maybe it's something in the periphery of cybersecurity. I tell people most of the time, if you take an entry level cybersecurity job, that could possibly be a pay cut. Some cybersecurity jobs are starting at $30,000 or $40,000, right?
Facts. Yep.
So it might be like a help desk or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Well, you're gonna start off 40, 50, $1,000, and that might, you know, that's what it is. So, but you can easily work your way up, identify your superpower, identify gaps in the industry. Like I'm telling people, hey, you should probably pick up some Golang. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what a hotness at. There's several tools being written in it. If you know Golang, you're gonna be good. You need the certification. You're gonna be good. So identify what the market. It's all about the market. And when I tell people if they're negotiating salaries, it's about what the market demands. So the market and what the market is paying too. So when I tell people to negotiate salaries, what I tell them is like, look, when you negotiate the salary, what you need to do is you just say, look, this is what I'm good at. Here are all my superpowers. The market is paying this much money for these superpowers. So it's not about Marcus Carey. It's not
Mhm.
about being black, white, Puerto Rican or Haitian. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all got that bar right there. um, it's not about that. It's about what the market is paying for your skill set. So you want to align that. And when we talk about salary, you just look up on Open Door. They paying 80, 90, 100 or something, you know what I'm saying? Um, Identify that market, and that's what the market is paying for somebody that with those superpowers.
Mhm.
And it ain't about me being black. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? If you were, you know what I'm saying? You don't get Superman in here for a dang what Captain Underpants budget. You know what I'm saying?
See, that's why. And going back to what we said, yes, that's why you need to know your superhero references. um, let's see, where are we now? I think they were talking about. Oh, to answer that, like I said, I saw your follow about learning code or cybersecurity. I would say, I would figure it out, what it is that you really want to do, and just kind of build on that, because I could tell you to get into pen testing, but pen testing may not be your cup of tea. But figure out what it is you want to do. Take some time with Google and reading, and just kind of figure out what interests you, and then build from there. And then, like I said, you can network with the right people.
Hey, shout out to my boy Juris Hacker. He that Pfeiffer Dog, the bar.
Yeah.
So
So let's see. Hold on. Cover six. Shout out to Ty Wilson. Cover six. And shout out to y'all both. Can't wait to meet in person one day soon. Listen. I'm hoping. Vegas will let us come out to. Well, COVID will let us come out to play one day. And then JB Cyber Insight says tribal ballers. I'm hoping it happens. Hey Ty, maybe that's what we'll call our buckets for bundles tournament. Yeah, yeah. They're talking about doing a buckets for bundles. So
I'm shooting.
Like I said, hopefully. Let's see. Willie Beeman, shout out to Willie, friend of the show, says, hello, Davin and Marcus. I live in Philly and have 2 years of cyber experience with same checkpoint firewalls, antivirus, VPNs, Nexpo scanning, etc. The market is so dead here. What do you suggest I do?
All right, I referenced the bar earlier. Put me anywhere on God's green earth, and I'll triple my worth. Willie Beeman. Willie Beeman. So, if the market is dead there, then that means there's no market there. So I would consider relocating to a market that's paying. And also, there's an opportunity to do remote work. By the way, remote work is popping up everywhere. I work every day from right here inside this little cave right here. So yeah, just I think that you have a nice set of skills. You can make a lot of money, Willie Beeman. You're you got a very valuable superpowers. So the only thing about superpowers is you got to know how to use them and wield them wisely.
Yeah.
So you can't use your superpowers in Philly if the market's not there. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, and I think we've had that conversation because I also think Willie has a couple certifications under his belt as well. So I think, yeah, with that, if the fish
Really?
ain't if the fish ain't biting one, or if you want, if the block is dry one place.
Oh, you talking about the block? Here's the deal. Here's the deal, Willie. Here's some. This is basically you're not using your superpowers correctly. You know what I'm saying? You don't like when Thanos snaps his fingers and you have nobody fight no more. And like and you don't get that's pretty much what's happening in Philly right now. All right.
And
Oh,
look,
so
shout out to InfoSec Sherpa because I know she's gonna see this on my way. Philly, what? But
hey, trillionaire, 30, bro. Thanks, bro. 35 too old. I don't know if
35
that's a question,
too old.
but
Weird.
no, bro. It's not too old. I'm 45 now, and I'm learning new stuff every day.
I'm
You're
older
never
than
too old, bro. Huh?
So I'm older than 35, and I'm still on the grind. So
On the Grizzly, on my T-Rex.
You got to do it. So let's see here. We're gonna wrap this up. So Dewan Lightfoot, Lab Every Day says it's a blessing to see y'all out here sharing knowledge. Listen, shout out to Dewan. Good dude. Go check him out on his YouTube channel as well. And then Jewish Hacker says, I think Marcus has been a blessing to more people than he knows. And I think that's definitely facts. So
Appreciate that, bro.
So all right, so we're gonna call it because I gotta wrap it up. But Marcus, again, anytime, sir, anytime, you are more than welcome to come here, join the show. Kick it with the people. Wait, Kalila says, "I'm 40 and I'm out here on the grind." Listen. The grind has no age limit.
The grind is the grind.
Grind is the grind. The game is the game. The goal is the goal. Is tattoos an issue in tech at 35 years old? No. You got people out here with rainbow colored hair and listen, at the end of the day, I'll say tech depends on where you go. If you're trying to get super corporate, it might, some people might whatever. But you get long
You
sleeve
gotta
shirt.
find. You gotta run a right fit for you.
Yeah,
If people are uptight and care about that, it's not for you. Like when I ran my company, in the Tribal Hackers leadership book, I said what's one of the most things that organizations need to change or something. Is one of the questions. I said that people need to allow people to smoke weed. That's what I said. Like, there's no rules. You have to get in where you fit in. That's what Too Short actually had a great song. Get in where you fit in.
yep,
Um, you got to get in where you fit in. Don't worry about all the issues you're throwing up are not real barriers. You're not old. You're not too old. You're not your tattoos. Nobody cares about those except for you. Long as hopefully they're tasteful.
yeah. Let's
Yeah, you can't be.
yeah,
Yeah,
let's revisit that. Let's say it depends on.
has to be somewhat. It has to be somewhat tasteful.
Yeah,
You can't be having offensive stuff. But
yeah,
uh, yeah, that's it.
yeah. Yeah, I'm glad we cleared that up. So, all right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, everybody watching, this has been another episode of InfoSec Unplugged. I want to thank the four
The
ingre-
agreements, the four agreements.
the four agreements, sir. The four
Hey,
agreements.
I'm cool with the four ingredients too.
I mean, they are ingredients.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta
They
use
are
them.
they are ingredients. You just gotta you gotta use them and and make them work for you. But like I said, ladies and gentlemen, it's been another week of InfoSec Unplugged. I want to thank my guest, Marcus J. Carey. Anytime, sir. Like I said, it's been a blessing. You've been a blessing. I hope everything is good with you. Continue to rock on. Like, if everybody, wants to reach you, they know how to reach you. I got your information in the show notes. To the chat, to the Wolf Pack. Again, I appreciate it. Like I said, I know there's probably some difficulties with YouTube, but you guys are always rocking out with me. So again, I appreciate it. I love y'all for that. I love the support. Let's keep it going. Also, and let's let me know in the comments, where would you want to see InfoSec Unplugged next? I'm looking at LinkedIn and I'm looking at YouTube for the moment. Not YouTube. I'm already on YouTube and Twitch. I'm then looking at LinkedIn and Facebook. I want to bring it into another platform, and there will be the audio version that's coming out later on in the spring. So be on the lookout for that for those people who don't want to watch and just want to, listen to it while they're doing whatever it is they're doing. But Marcus, any final words?
No, I just want to just thanks for having me. Thanks everybody for paying attention and listening. Thanks everybody that's bought the books and supported, show love. Thanks for everybody out there being a blessing to everybody else. And so the question is, uh, one more thing. One more thing is I want you to I want y'all to be impeccable with your word to yourself. Uh, and be impeccable with your. I mean, don't be telling yourself this is a problem. It's a problem because of this. I mean, love yourself and don't make excuses. Don't let people this because I've had been there in my life before I started my company. Um, and I pitched to get into a thing. Well, I was like, well, I'm overweight. I'm not attractive. I'm not. I had all these things in my head. You know what I'm saying? Like, uh, but like Biggie said, heartthrob never, big black and ugly as ever. So you gotta just get past all the stuff you think about yourself. It didn't stop Biggie from when you feel me. So
However,
all these things you make, huh?
stay Coogee down to the socks.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But that's what it is though. Have confidence in yourself. Uh, period. Straight up. Because like my man Biggie knew that he had bars. That was his superpower.
Yep.
What is your superpower? And if your superpower is good enough, everything else will fall into place. And what's crazy about this, and the proof is in the pudding. There's a bunch of dirtbags that shouldn't be working in tech. But the fact that they're dirtbags still, The fact that they have skills, they're still in tech. That tells you that if your superpowers, even super villains, people deal with them just because they're bringing something to the table.
I almost said a name, but but I'm trying to work on myself. So
Yeah, I don't know any names. There's a lot of people out there, but
yeah, there's a few.
telling you, just handle your business, and and everything will work out. All
Yes,
right,
sir. All right.
y'all take care. Have a good night. Love yourself, and don't let anything that's you think's wrong with yourself, because you're with yourself all the time. You know all your flaws, right? Just make sure your superpowers are adequate enough to make up for the flaws.
And be a blessing.
That's it. Peace.
Peace out.